Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking the top 5 best cards under 100,000 MT here in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. I did top 5 cards under 50k MT yesterday. Go check that out if you haven't already. There is one card from that list on this list as well, and it might surprise you what position that card is in. But as a whole, you can get some really good cards for under 100,000 MT in my team. Some top tier guys at pretty much any position, guys who can compete with the best cards in the game. And while we're not quite at the point where diamonds are under 100k or anything like that, we're getting pretty soon where I would not be surprised to see some diamond prices start falling and some of those guys start to be under this 100k price point in the relatively near future. But we're not there yet. Going to be all amethysts and rubies on this list. But before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 16,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. At the number 5 spot out of 5, I actually have Cade Cunningham, because Cade has been passed by several PGs in the past couple weeks in terms of how good he is at the PG position. And while he is still a very good point guard card, no doubt about that, I just think there's a lot of new good cards for this price point. He's not the strongest defender. He's a very capable slasher, good playmaker with really good sigs, and a good shooter with a solid release as well. But he does not have speed booster. Defensively, he is definitely a little bit of a liability. He's probably the worst defensive card, or second worst at least for sure defensive card in the war list, maybe the worst. And while offensively he is very capable, and he does have very good size, the point guard position, like I said, really good movement into, including a very good size up and a tray escape, pretty good release, pro fade. I don't know what fade he has, because he does not have pro fade. He has his own fade, and it's hideous. I don't know why a lot of these cards say pro fade and they don't have pro fade. I don't know why that is on 2KDB. I wish that was fixed. But Cade Cunningham, while still a very good card, is only number 5 on this list in my opinion. That's because of a lot of new cards like this brand new Andrew Wiggins, who came out last Friday, who is really good at the small forward, a card I think a lot of people are sleeping on, but who can play the small forward position at a very high level. 6'7", 7-foot wingspan, hot spots from 4 or 5 spots outside the 3-point line. He's got half precision dunker, posterizer, and then off ball pass, gold clamps, interceptor, pogo stick, silver challenger, fast feet, glove, pick dodger, post lockdown. Decent playmaking badges. He's a very solid shooter as well. 92 speed, 85 3-ball, elite slasher, but also a very good versatile defender. I like him because I feel like he can be a primary or secondary lock on the wing. Maybe not an amazing primary lock, but good enough. He's got pretty good size, great player build. Release is really good. It looks like last year's release, but it feels quicker. LeBron dribble style is quite good. He's an exceptionally elite slasher, who does playmate quite well with the ball in his hands, because he's got pretty good sigs, honestly. I'm very impressed by Andrew Wiggins as a whole in my team. I think he's a little slept on right now, and I think he deserves a spot pretty high on this list. I have Nick Young at number 3, because despite the lack of defense, this card offensively is, I mean, he might be the best offensive shooting guard in the game right now. His release is exceptional. The Jamal Murray escape that he has behind the back move, that he has combined with really solid MJ dribble style and incredible release, makes for a very glitchy card at the position. 95 3-ball, 95 driving dunk, has really solid finishing badges, including obviously the gold posterizer, precision dunker, fast twitch, that type of stuff. Shooting badges include a Hoff Agent 3 and limitless range, as well as every gold shooting badge you could want. Playmaking badges are pretty darn complete as well. Got the gold bailout, blow by handles for days, unpluckable, and most importantly speed booster. And then defensively, he's not great, but he's not horrible. Kind of like Cade Cunningham defensively. The thing that makes him so good though is his movement and his release are so elite at that point, shooting guard position, that I think that just elevates him at shooting guard, and how viable he is at even a competitive level right now, just a little bit higher than a guy like Cade, who he is a pretty similar card to. So I have him at number 3. Number 2 is going to be OG Anunoby, who is a pretty new card as well. Came out yesterday actually. Card I did gameplay on, very high on him. 84 KMT, 6'7", 7'2" wingspan, 3 out of 5 spots outside the 3-point line. 3 hoffs are corner specialist, challenger, and clamps. Pretty complete card though. Not great playmaker, but really good defender, versatile defender as well. Really only missing anchor, brick wall, and immovable enforcer, which are the interior badges, but he's a pretty good interior defender, great perimeter defender, really good finisher, 90 driving dunk, good speed, good shooter, good playmaker. He's just a versatile wing who's a very good lock. LeBron dribble style again is really good, and a fast, smooth release as well. Wiggins is a little bit better playmaker and maybe a better slasher as well, probably, but I think OG is just as good, if not better, of a shooter, and I think he's a better defensive card, and I think he fits amazingly at the small forward position and is a great spot at number 2. But despite being only an Amethyst, Nick Claxton is, or only a Ruby, but Nick Claxton is my number one spot. And I understand he's only 10K, he's only a Ruby. I think how good he is at his position compared to the best cards in the game. I say that, but it's true about Cade, and it's kind of true about Wiggs, it's kind of true about Nick Young, it's kind of true about OG too. So all of these guys are great for their value at their position. I just think Claxton is the new, like, there's only a couple centers in the game that I really do believe are better than him, and I think he can play at that crazy high level. He's such a great interior defender and such a great dunker, but also with that 88 3-ball and a good release, stretches the floor so solidly that if you add bailout, break starter, catch, and shoot, he's pretty much a complete big, like almost at the caliber of David Robinson, Hakeem, Kareem, all that type of stuff, because he's going to dunk great, he's going to defend great, he's going to rebound great, he's got fine enough speed, and he's going to shoot the ball well when he's wide open. That's exactly what all those other guys are on the court to do as well. He's just as good as them pretty much in all those areas. Not as many he doesn't have Hall of Fame badges. I know he's not as good as those cards are. But if you're a good player, he's going to have pretty close to the same effect on the court as those guys will. And that is incredibly valuable for 10,000 MT. And I do believe he is fairly the number one card on this list. Y'all might have this list very differently. I think you could make an argument for Cade as high as number 2, maybe even number 1. You could reorder this whole list, but I think all of these guys are amazing, amazing cards who you can pick up for less than 100,000 MT, who can really, really help transform your lineup regardless of what you need. Really, the only position that isn't super accounted for here is power forward, but Clax can play power forward. OG and Wiggs could slide down to the power forward. A guy like Sharif Abdul-Rahim, who's 42K, is a great budget power forward. Also, Ruby Tim Thomas is a really nice pick and pop power forward. So there are some other good cheap options at power forward. A cheap point guard option would be a guy like Jalen Suggs as well, who very nearly made this list himself as another 10K card, but also actually a free card as well, which is another reason I kind of excluded him, is because Jalen Suggs for most people is a free card simply because how easy he is to get. They're just going to get him for free. Nobody's going to pay the 10K for him because it takes 10 minutes to get the card for free. But that is a little bit beside the point. As a whole, I am very impressed, and I'm making a whole video on this actually that will be out later today, talking about how well 2K has done as of late with content. And I think a big reason for that is what we're seeing on our screen right here, which is some of the best budget cards in the game, all having come out within the last month, but a few of them having come out within the last week. I mean, number 1, number 2, and number 4 came out in the last week. Nick Young, not that far before that, and then Cade Cunningham was obviously part of the bronze set, but he wasn't that long ago. That card came out right before Thanksgiving. So a lot of good cards that we've gotten in the last month that have been budget cards that kind of transformed the game, and I think it's making it easier for people to compete online with slightly cheaper and lower overall cards than it was early in the year. So with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.